One of the most fundamental ideas in competitive Pokemon is that of speed control, using various moves, abilities, and Pokemon themselves in order to make sure that your Pokemon act first. They can do their damage, they can do their moves before your opponent's Pokemon. And I lost because I cared about that too much. Hey everyone, Bowerdad here with episode 13 of my Why Did I Lose series, where I seek to do 3 things. First of all, I want to honestly review my shortcomings. Second, I wish to make better gameplay decisions. And thirdly, I want to inspire others to do the same with this series. Now, my opponent opens up with Landorus and Thundurus, so the big question on my mind is, what kind of Thundurus is this? They could be Defiant and a very offensive build, or they could be Prankster Thundurus and do more supportive things. I decide to protect with my Kyogre, because it should take exactly 1 turn to figure out which one it is. We see my opponent go for the Dynamax, so we know that this is going to be a Defiant Thundurus. I protect with Kyogre, and I set Tailwind. I feel like this is a pretty decent use of the first turn, especially because their Landorus goes for Protect when I wasn't planning on attacking it in the first place, so that's a huge win. My opponent goes for an Airstream, does absolutely minimal damage to Kyogre. We're off to a great start, but it does put me now in kind of an interesting position. I have to decide if I want to commit or not. I do decide to commit. I do something strange here. I decide that I will Icy Wind, which is going to trigger the Defiant boost on Thundurus, but I figure that if they decide to Airstream again, they're going to match my Tailwind, and I need to do something about that, even though it might be kind of dangerous. And here's the speed drop, the Defiant boost. So Thundurus' attack power will get doubled. The Water Spout does, unfortunately, way less than I was hoping. The Max Lightning comes in and absolutely wipes Kyogre. It looks kind of like a mistake, but Kyogre wasn't going to survive that anyway, so I'm going to put in the Zapdos and continue from there in the next leg of the game. Alright, now at this point, I've made my bed and I have to lie in it. Thundurus now has a +2 on its attack, so I really have to get rid of it. I brought up my Zapdos for this, and I decide now is the time that I need to Dynamax. I need to start fighting back, and I need to get rid of that Thundurus as soon as possible. I go for the Max Lightning, but at the same time, I do need to deal with this Zacian over there. Kyogre did a good job of roughing it up already, but I need to also finish it off. So I go for a very offensive turn for this one. The Zacian busts out the strongest quick attack I've ever seen on the ranked ladder, doing almost half of Tornadus' health, almost half. Luckily, the Hurricane will come in, pick up the Zacian, and I'm going to Max Lightning Thundurus. It doesn't pick up the KO. It does a bit less than I thought it would, which was surprising to me. The Max Lightning Crackback, thankfully I survive it, not with a lot of health, but with enough. So my opponent's Zacian is replaced with the Landorus, and that's the last turn of their Dynamax. So now we have even Pokemon count. I still have Dynamax on my side, and it looks like I'm starting to bring this back a little bit. You watch me check the stats, I still have 1 more turn of Tailwind, so I decide to take advantage. I'm going to Airstream the Landorus, and I decide that I'm going to Icy Wind against the pair and just really pray that it's enough to take out Thundurus, because if it's not, I'm just going to lose right here instead of, spoiler alert, later on down the road. Pick up the Thundurus, thankfully, and Zapdos' Airstream is going to come in and pick up the Landorus, giving me a speed boost and bringing my opponent down to a single Pokemon. This is 13 weeks that I've been doing the Why Did I Lose series, and this is the one that hurts the most. My opponent's last Pokemon is Calyrex Shadow. You'll see me check my stats here, get my head out of the way. Zapdos is +1 on speed, as is my Tornadus. I'm out of Tailwind at this point. So I decide, okay, I will Airstream the Calyrex, and I'll set up Tailwind again. Seems like a no-brainer. We don't have Tailwind, we set Tailwind. You're going to watch this Airstream come in, and it looks like we're in good shape, except the Calyrex survives. And then this game turns on a dime. Astro Barrage comes in, knocks out my Dynamax Pokemon, knocks out my other Pokemon. I go from 3v1 to 1v1, and my sad little Amoonguss, unfortunately, can't do anything. So over the span of 2 turns, I get mopped. I think it's tempting to look back at that game and say that I signed my own death wish when I used Icy Wind against Thundurus, activating its Defiant ability. However, the reason that I lost, I believe, is more subtle than that. Defiant Thundurus only gets 2 attacks before it gets KO'd. One of them is against my Kyogre, who was going to get absolutely obliterated anyway, regardless of the Defiant boost. And then my Zapdos, who by the time Calyrex comes around, has such a small amount of health that I don't know that the extra health would have assisted it much in the end game anyway. Now, you'll remember that on the second to last turn, I decide that I'm going to max Airstream the Calyrex with my Zapdos, and I'm going to reset Tailwind. I notice that both of my Pokemon are +1 speed, however, my Tailwind has gone down. And so I think, okay, no brainer. I'm going to click Tailwind, I'm going to do max Airstream and get back more speed control, do some damage. However, Calyrex survives and reverse sweeps my whole team no problem. Here's the thing. +1 Zapdos and +1 Tornadus are already faster than Calyrex Shadow Rider, even if the Calyrex Shadow Rider is max speed. I actually could have won the game immediately by doing max Airstream with Zapdos and then Hurricane with Tornadus. I had 1 turn of Rain left, it would have been a guaranteed hit, and it would have been a guaranteed KO. I overvalued the speed control. I wanted to do more speed control because I didn't trust that my Pokemon were faster. I just wanted the Tailwind up, and that's why I lost. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 13 of Why Did I Lose? I would love to hear what you thought about the video in the comments. If you would like to see more of this content, if you'd like to support the channel, you can like the video, you can subscribe to me here. I would greatly appreciate both of those things. Last but certainly not least, if you would like to see some of this gameplay live, I actually stream on Twitch every Thursday evening at 8:30 p.m. Central Time over at twitch.tv/BauerDad. Additionally, I have a few of these other social channels if you would like to follow me on those platforms as well. Till next week, I hope everyone has a fantastic time.